Welcome to our meeting today on November 27th here in Lake Township. We'd like to start with a roll call, and why don't we start with Tom Monk?
Tom Monk, Zeeland Township.
Kevin Kleinstra, City of Zeeland.
Ken DeWeert, Fillmore.
Kurt Vancouver, Ottawa County Road Commission.
Jason Latham with the MACC.
Tom Bird at large.
Nathan Bach, City of Holland.
Mandy Cooper, Lakeshore Advantage.
Linda Howell, Lake Township.
Jim Gerard, Park Township.
And hi everyone, Heather Bowden with MDOT Statewide Planning. I'll be taking over for Jeff Franklin. So excited to be working with all of you.
Great to have you here.
Thanks.
Eric Dykstra at the MACC.
Alec Miller at the MACC, and my clicker isn't working, so I have to sit right here. Yeah, I'll try to hide back right through me.
And Mike is here. Great. We'd like to have a motion concerning the minutes that have been distributed.
So who, Kevin?
Okay, all those in favor of approval of the minutes, respond by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign.
Sorry, who was the second on that?
Tom Oak. No one here for public comments, so we'll turn the meeting over to Jason.
All right, well, thank you very much. I appreciate it. All right, look at that. We're doing good.
This is the first little thing that Kelly wanted me to show you. You should have there's a handout for that. There's a handout. She said they do this every year. It's December 7th, 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. Environmental Research Showcase, where kids give presentations on stuff, and then also Hope College students are there, and they just try to have a general discussion about Project Clarity and ODC. So if any of you are free, have nothing going on, then Kelly would much appreciate it if you guys could show up.
Yeah, I look forward to it. That's a good event. Great, thanks, Alec. I appreciate it. Well, we're going to jump right in with transportation program, and our first topic is the Safe Streets for All. So put a lot of information into these slides. Probably won't go into that much detail, but this is what we went over with the Technical Advisory Committee. And obviously the good news that we have the $300,000 grant, of which 240 is the grant specific federal dollars, of which we're going to match 60,000 or 60,000 to hit the 300,000. The good news is last year the 800 million was awarded, I believe, and so that left 200 million. This year they're trying to go for another $1 billion. We don't know exactly what the overall grants were, but I feel like we're in a good place because now that we've been awarded the grant, we understand what the process is. Once we get our safety action plan completed, which is basically the main focal point of the Safe Streets for All grant that we received. Once we get that planning side done, now all those projects that are going to be in that safety action plan are going to be eligible for future construction funding, which we now know that there is definitely money left over from last year. There'll probably be money left over from this year, though I don't know. Let's go to the next slide. And like I said, we're doing a planning grant. That's a safety action plan. There is a demonstration side to this. So there's an opportunity potentially if the technical advisory committee really digs into some of the details, maybe we could go after some construction demonstration money next year. Because I'm not sure that we'll be ready to go after construction projects next year. Next slide. You go over these next steps. What we're just found out right before the meeting that we're going to be meeting with Federal Highway December 8th. Is that right?
Right.
That's kind of our kickoff meeting. There is some training that we need to do at the MACC because we are a direct recipient now of federal funds. So there's a nuance to it. So we'll be working on that. Then we need to get an agreement with Federal Highway Administration out of Washington, D.C. I don't think that agreement can come straight from the district office in Michigan. And I think I mentioned this last meeting, that took 12 months for Grand Rapids to get their basically signed agreement. So I'm hoping we can do it a lot faster. So we put together what we think is a pretty quick timeline, having them turn that around, in January. And then that would give us the green light to move forward with requests for proposals, because we certainly, as we talked about it at the TAC, that we're going to get a consultant to come in and work with us on developing that safety action plan, because there's some really good consulting firms out there that have done this type of work. And I'm already reaching out, City of Holland, Brian said he'd be on the grant review proposal team, try to get a couple more folks to be on that, and I think that the cities and the road commissions would be good to review those proposals. So I'll be making those calls and getting that stuff ready, but man, I think we'd be doing really good if we could get those out in February. But if the feds still haven't signed the agreement and it takes 12 months, hopefully we're not talking about this next November going, I can't wait for that to be signed. So cross your fingers. I think the main thing that I really wanted to cover is just that timeline side of things. We're at the mercy of the feds when we can get that done, but we're getting our ducks in a row. We're getting proposal language together. We're getting agreement stuff together. We're talking to Grand Valley Metro Council to see what they use. And we've already, we're kind of that squeaky wheel. We have a contact person that's been assigned to us from Federal Highway in Michigan, and we've contacted her how many times? A lot?
Probably 5.
5. So, but the good news is she knows that we're really excited about this, that we have our ducks in a row, and that as soon as she says, okay, we're ready, we're going to have stuff ready. So, are there any questions, regarding the grant? There's still stuff that we don't know. I will bring up the response that we did get from the Michigan office. If you recall, at our exec committee, we talked about, is it possible to expand the area to include the full Ottawa County and Allegan County? Because we already have the road commissions as part of our team, and the answer is no. It's got to be kept to our planning area boundaries for the MACC. And we also asked if we could use soft match. And that response is no, it has to be matched with local funding. So that $60,000 will have to come from us. We were hoping that we could just use some of our time, in terms of soft match, or some of our members' time to match that money. But that was a no, which it's unfortunate, but it's okay. I think we knew that going into it when we applied for the grant that we'd have to come up with $60,000. So we'll work on what that looks like. That's something here that probably run it by everybody at the TAC, get their thoughts, and then bring it to you guys and say, here's what the discussion was and here's what we're thinking. So look for that in the next few months. We'll bring that to you. So any questions? We're looking forward to our kickoff meeting so we can really dive in. But right now, that's all we got. All right. Well, then let's jump to the next item. Alec is going to go over the 196BL open house that we had.
Yes. You're good. You're getting my good side here. So in October, we had a pedestrian study open house that a lot of you knew about. It was 35 people, which we still think is really good to have for a public meeting. It's not going to be our 75 that we had in the beginning, but I think that was crazy for that. We were not expecting that many people. But the overall layout of the meeting, kind of tell there, we had a big roller sheet, and then each intersection was numbered 1 through 13, I believe, and then each of those numbers were zoomed in the behind. So people were able to walk up there and take notes and really look at it. A lot of engaged people. Everyone that came was really, really involved into it. They weren't just showing up to grab a cookie or anything. They wanted to look and they give us their opinions, and we had a few comments that we made note of, and good people, and Representative Slaw, he was there, and Commissioner Bonema, and so it was Mayor Kleinstra was there, and
All the important.
all the big hitters in the local area. So it was a good open house. What's our action items here? Standard, we've been doing this for months now. 2050 long range transportation chapters, 10, 11, 12. Already went out to TAC for comments. No comments were made. They approved it, sent to you guys. I didn't receive any comments. Eric, did you? So no news is good news for us. So simply get a motion for that, if all good. Oh, this is actually old language.
If I make a comment, the funding for our road system is just a labyrinthine system of the various paths in which money is infused that can work towards projects. Having worked with it for 12 years as a road commissioner, I thought I had a pretty good understanding of all the sources of funding, but I thought your chapter 11 did a great job of memorializing that.
Thank you.
And any of you who would be interested, once that is available for public distribution, it'd be worthwhile for you to distribute it within your organization to try to help people understand the various forms of funding that we encounter. Thanks.
Yeah. Chapter 11 was a lot of work. I don't have all my numbers yet at the end of it. I was supposed to get those mid-October. Still don't have those for some MDOT numbers. Don't blame you.
MTPA
They were approved.
financial meeting, so they'll be sent out. You can talk about 24
Yeah.
allocations. Yes, they're coming.
So we're approving 10, 11, 12. When I was making the PowerPoint, I didn't catch this. I didn't change the language. So please, when you say you make a motion for 10, 11, 12.
I make a motion to approve the LRTP chapters 10, 11, and 12.
Support.
All right, so we got the motion, we got the support. Any additional comments? All right, all in favor, please respond by saying aye.
Aye.
All right, and then opposed, same sign. There we go, motion passes. Thank you very much.
So the next thing we have are the state safety targets for calendar year 2024. We have to do this every single year. The option is we adjust or we adopt the state targets, or we make our own. Making our own it's quite the process. I think only the larger like TAMCs do it. So like SEMCOG in Detroit and Grand Valley Metro Council. Not a lot of smaller MPOs. I don't know if any smaller MPOs actually make their own targets. Another thing that I always like to bring up is targets. It's not the best language for this because people think target. Why do we want to have all of this? It's more of projections. I think projection is a better, because everybody, obviously we want zero. We want zero for everything. So I remember last year at our TAC meeting, that was a little bit of a discussion saying, well, why don't we just make it zero? Well, there's a lot that goes into it for it. So we just been adopting the state ones. We had a conversation with TAC. They all agreed once that was explained. So if anybody has any questions on these, if not, then if I could get a motion for those.
I make a motion to approve the state safety target count for calendar year 2024 as presented.
All right, any additional comments? No additional comments? Then all in favor, please respond by saying aye.
Aye.
All right, opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Thank you.
That's all I have for transportation. Off to MDOT now. If you have any updates.
Just, the allocations for MTPA financial group were discussed and approved. So Matt Lyle is working on sending those new numbers out. We were still waiting on, do you guys get carbon reduction? Yeah, so we were still waiting for the final allocated numbers to be put into the grant system. It's there. So we're finally able to get those final numbers out, and He should be within the next week or two. Title 6, no, that's just for TMAs. I think that's all I've got right now.
That sounds good. Can I ask a quick question? I just got an email from AMPO regarding greenhouse gas emissions.
Yes.
Is that stuff, I mean, it's really early on, that final rule just came out.
It did. I just saw the email this morning from John Lanham. He's been reviewing some of the language already, and he sent an email to our region FHWA office to just start the conversation.
Right.
Yeah, so
Do you-
that'll be part of those safety performance targets that we'll have to.
It'll be really similar, same process
It'll be
probably.
exactly, yeah, it'll be very similar to this, where you'll have the option to create your own, or you'll just approve and advance the state targets.
Okay.
So-
Well, yeah, as that stuff comes out, just let us know,
Yeah.
because we'd be happy to help out any way we can, and certainly update everybody on these new final rulings and what that means, and if there's additional funding. It probably doesn't mean there's additional funding, but you can always hope, right? Okay. Very good, okay. And Federal Highway's not here. I didn't have anything, they didn't reach out, so I'm not, and you know. Okay. So then I'll move on to our administrative side of things. The financial report is in the packet. And really, it's been kind of all hands on deck for the audit. Really, that's the main thing. I just want to let you guys know that our auditors they spent 3 days at the MACC. So that was Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday last week. It's always Thanksgiving. At least I say it's always the 2 Thanksgivings I've been here, that's when it's been. So we were just making sure they had everything they need. They had access to all our files, and they were going through everything. Chris was in on Wednesday last week, doing any final questions that they might have and providing information, but everything sounded like it was going well. So looking forward to that report coming back. I think it's usually January is when we get it back, so be a little time before we see it, but that's the biggest update there. Moving to the exec committee report, really it was the Safe Streets for All discussion that we had. It was a pretty big discussion. Other than that, it was our conversation was really around the importance of developing a strategic plan, and that's something that I'm working on. Didn't spend too much time in the airport on it like I thought I would, but really making sure that I get some good information on paper about what is the strategic objective strategy plan that I can use and my staff can use kind of on a daily basis, because we do have things that come up quite a bit. And is this in our wheelhouse? Is this what we should be working on? And just having that little blueprint would be really nice. I'm trying to get a draft together to run it by the exec committee for the December 12th exec committee meeting. So more to come on that. The other thing which is coming up next is our LMCU bank account. I wasn't able to get into the account. They wouldn't let me do anything with it. But thankfully, our board chair, Tom, was on the list, and we were able to take the funding in that. It was a money market account that was earning less than 1%. We were able to get that funding out of that. It's in our My Class account right now, which is earning close to 5%. So thank you, Tom, for doing that. But there is $5 left in that account, and they won't let us close that account unless we have a resolution from the board. I know Tom did his best to convince them that seemed pretty onerous, but they weren't budging. So I think our next ask is if we could have a motion by you all for us to close that account. I think there's that resolution we'll have Tom sign after this, but if someone could make that motion, that'd be great, because we want to just get that $5 out of there and be done with that.
Yeah, that's because it costs more to send the
Yeah.
statement every month. Maybe we'll make them pay for that.
Yeah.
I'll make a motion to approve the closure of the MACC LMCU bank account with the resolution as presented.
Thank you.
Important.
And support, all right, all in favor, please respond by saying aye.
Aye.
All right, thank you very much, appreciate that, we'll get that done. So then, I think right now we're at member comments, if we go around the room, that'd be great. I'm gonna start with you, Tom.
You start with me.
Yeah.
The only comment I'd have is that the January 22 meeting will be hosted at Zeeland Township. We'll probably be at our public safety building, not the town hall. So we're in the midst of a renovation project that I don't think will be finished. So you can stay tuned, but we'll probably just be next door. Other than that, nothing.
Come on out to Zeeland tonight. We have our big Christmas parade. We also have the Field of Zeal of Giving this week, Wednesday through Friday. You can come see Santa Claus. It might bear a little resemblance to me, but I'm not sure.
You gonna grow a beard?
What's that?
You gonna grow a beard?
Yeah, real fast. And also, our snow melt project, we started in June with doing 2 blocks. We finished up just in time for the snow to come, so that's good. Also, a couple weeks ago, I went to see a demonstration of drones. Were any of you guys there?
I wasn't able to make it.
Oh, okay. But anyway, it was pretty interesting. They did it on Lakewood Boulevard, across from the appliance store. I forget the name of it. But anyway, it's a cul-de-sac in there. But they had several drones that they demonstrated, and one they sent about 1.5 miles away, picked up a package, came back and delivered it on a cable. The cable dropped down about 30 feet and delivered it. So they want to use it mainly for medical, for going back and forth to hospitals in this area. Then right after I went to that, I saw a thing about, I think it was on the Sunday morning show, where they deliver kidneys and hearts, similar, instead of having to use a helicopter. They said they saved a lot of money that way, and plus it's faster. So it was pretty interesting. And for us being into transportation, that's kind of a big thing. So.
No, that's great. We did go out to the airport and we talked to Aaron about some of that stuff. So I did get an invite, and we did ask if they need any GIS support, any kind of corridor support, any type of support whatsoever. We're here to help them. And that is one of the conversations we had from a long-range plan standing with MDOT. So we did meet with aeronautics to say that there's an opportunity for MPOs potentially to help with some of the logistics just on the planning side. Obviously not the real logistics, but I was sad that I missed that. It sounds like that was really interesting.
In Canada, the restrictions aren't near as tough as they are here. So they have a contract with UPS, and they deliver packages in Canada. But here, you can't be more than 5 miles, I think it is, from the person operating the drone. There, I think it's 30 or 40 miles. But they have drones that can deliver like 2 tons of stuff. And, it was pretty interesting.
Nice.
Fillmore Township, I guess the biggest news is no news, and that we were informed by the LG Chem Solutions that they had withdrawn their offer of proposed expansion into Fillmore Township. It was going to be a 110-acre piece that they were proposing to expand, and they informed us that that is no longer in their plans for the future. Other than that, the farm community had a plentiful and bounty harvest. I understand the biggest issue right now is finding a place to store all the corn and the beans. So that's always good too. Good problems to have.
Road Commission, we've wrapped up the construction season, and we start looking for next year. So we're really kind of, it's our
in a lull until the first of the year.
All right, thank you.
You're stuck with me for 2 more years at least. And we have 3 new city council members that we're getting up to speed in City Hall as well. If you don't get enough of parades tonight in Zeeland, you're welcome to come tomorrow night, 6:30 for the Parade of Lights in downtown Holland. I believe about 65 entries, including Santa Claus that will not look anything like me. We're also wrapping up our downtown road construction project. 6th Street should be pretty much opened up again. Be much easier to get around down there with a whole lot more snow melt. We'd like to follow Zeeland's lead on that as well. And then in the next couple of months, keep an eye out. We should be getting bids back for the ice skating rink downtown. Looking at that being about a $10 to $12 million project, and maybe even breaking ground yet this year if we're able to get those bids back where we want them. And I'm pushing for skating next winter, but I'm not sure if that's going to happen yet or not. So,
Thank you.
Port Sheldon, not a whole bunch more going on. We're still waiting to get our RFP approved for master plan revision. Our dredging companies showed up to dredge a channel. They've got the pipes laid out, but haven't started any work yet. But they should get into it this fall yet. So that's what we're hoping. Or winter. I use winter now.
Yeah.
Seem like fall.
Things are busy at Lakeshore Advantage, as they have been for the last few years, for sure. One of the things I wanted to flag was we had hosted some housing revolving loan conversations last week with several municipalities and stakeholders. We did one up in Coopersville, one down in Allegan. I know several of you or your partners were there. One of the things that was mentioned at that meeting was that there's likely going to be funding coming out of MISHDA for master planning and zoning work, so something to keep your ears open for. That's coming up for you, or if you see an opportunity, which there often are, to look at it as a way to help encourage housing development in your community. So I'll definitely flag, our team will flag that when it comes through. Jason was at the meeting as well, so really appreciate that engagement.
Well, I don't know about our different levels of housing development, but this last year, well, January through now, once again, we broke $20 million in building permits.
wow.
And considering, we're talking about, 6,000 residents grand total. So it's not exactly affordable because it was only 122 permits for $20 million worth of value. But it's just, the trend just continues. It's just a little on the nutty side. But following up on the Christmas theme, if you don't get enough on the parades, Winterfest is at the Felt Mansion this coming Saturday morning from 9 to 11. A different Santa and Mrs. Claus, who won't look like me, will be at the mansion for the kids. There's horse-drawn carriage rides, there's face painting, all kinds of good stuff out there. And if you don't make it on Saturday morning, please check the website for all of the tours. The volunteers do a fantastic job out there. They put at least one decorated tree in every room. And even if you just have the chance at night to drive past, the entire mansion, the carriage house, the chapel are all lit. And it's really tremendous. They do a fantastic job out there. So I'd encourage you to take a look. You come right around that corner and there it is. And especially if it's a dark night when you get there, it's pretty impressive. I really appreciate all the hard work that goes into all that. We've got a new executive director out there, so this is her first season, and so far it looks phenomenal. Other than that, starting in on all those first quarter projects like budgeting, which is just such a holiday delight.
From Park Township, things are status quo, so not a whole lot to report. We do not have a Christmas parade, so we can't offer any of that. So
I have already provided the updates. I am curious, with the strategic plan, is it going to be mostly COG and economic development focused, or?
So right now we're starting with just the one pager kind of mission, vision, values. What we're about, what's important to us, so we can really start from there, and then we can dig as deep as we need to, but without that first layer, that would be nice to just get something on paper. So each day you can just kind of point to it and go, yep, I'm in the ballpark. All right, thanks.
Thank you.
I do have one thing. I was going to bring a poignant question to MDOT, but the press beat me to it. If you've driven eastbound on 196 in the new paved section, you'll notice high contrast center lane markings with a white dash with a segment of black paint at the end of it. And it's not on the westbound portion for some reason. And I was trying to figure out, was this an experiment on MDOT's part to try to improve visibility for automated vehicles, for lane keeping assistance, for the cameras to see the center lane markings? But there was a story I think it was in the Holland Sentinel, that this is evidently a new trend to increase contrast for visibility, particularly on concrete roads where you have a light pavement surface. So it's one of those things that you may have driven over it and not noticed it, but there is a reason for all those black segments on the dashed line.
So there's like a black segment with the white over top of it? Is that the?
Well, the white stripe is normally like 5 feet long, and the first 3 feet is white and the last 2 feet is black.
Okay.
My wife commented on that on Thanksgiving Day. She noticed it. And my electric vehicle does not, they must not have mapped that set yet, because I could not do autonomous driving on that section of the highway yet. Yeah.
That is interesting. I noticed it in Florida Saturday when I was driving the airport. So.
What do you call that? High contrast marking?
High contrast center lane marking. And the story in the paper said it's used where you have multiple lanes to help distinguish when you have 3 or 4 lane wide road. That segment is only 2 lanes wide, which is interesting.
Where exactly is that located?
It's on I-196 eastbound. I noticed it over towards Hudsonville.
Yeah, between Zeeland and Hudsonville. I noticed it.
Between where?
Zeeland and Hudsonville.
Okay.
Eastbound.
I've heard the region planners talking about it, but I honestly am not the technical expert on that. But I can ask and report out next month on anything if I know, if I would know what's going on in the region.
Thanks, that'd be great.
I have a question for MDOT. Is there any big projects in this area next year, similar what 196 was or not?
And once again, I would have to defer to the region planners or the folks here, because I'm still kind of getting up to speed on what's going on in the region.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
I think
That's a big one.
reconstruction from Pawpaw West, and then joint repairs east of Pawpaw to 88th Avenue.
Yeah, that's the only thing that I can think of in the tip. Yeah. All right. So I think with that said, anything else? Any other comments that people wanted to make? This was I know a short meeting, but really good to get these safety targets set. So appreciate that. We can start working on getting the information to MDOT. The one last thing is we don't have a meeting in December. So next meeting is January. Our long-range plan public open house is 16?
January 16, I think.
Yeah.
It's a
So,
Wednesday.
yeah, this is the last big push. We're putting a lot of things together. So we'll get that draft plan in a point that we can go to the public. We're hoping to have a fairly good turnout. We'll make sure it's in, on you name the social media place, we're going to try to get it in there, get as many people to that meeting as possible, just to get some more input. But I think our input that we've gotten so far has been really good. We've gone to a lot of businesses and had a lot of conversation with folks. So I'm feeling really good about that side of it. So yeah, if you guys can, we'll get the word out. But if you guys can get to that public meeting, that would be great. In January, and then hopefully full adoption in February, so it can get to MDOT in March. And then MDOT does what they need to do, and then it gets to the feds. So yeah, I can't believe we're almost through that process. So thanks for everyone here for your help so far, and we look forward to the public meeting in January. Okay, with that said, I think looks like we're done. We need a motion to adjourn.
Yes.
So moved.
Support, all in favor?
Aye.
All right, meeting adjourned. Thank you.